ladies and gentlemen, we have fireside chat and the topic is New Age and Geopolitical Threat to Digital Payment Ecosystem and Strategy to Protect. For the same, I would request the moderator to join on the stage, Mr. Pravin Kumar, Chief Market Information Security Officer, National Payments Corporation of India. And now I would request the speaker, Dr. Sanjay Bahl, Director General at CERT-In. Let's have a huge round of applause, everyone, for Dr. Sanjay Bahl. I would request the moderator, Mr. Pravin Kumar, to kindly begin the fireside chat.
Morning all. So, fasten your seat belt. It is going to be a bumpy ride, trust me. Our captain will take you to the different nations, so-called enemies nation, friendly nation, back to India, to Delhi, where policy is made, where CERT-In headquarters and CERT himself resides, and we'll be back to Mumbai, where all the Fintech, RBI, NPCI office exists. We'll further go to the Hyderabad and Bangalore, where real innovation happens. So are you ready to enjoy this journey? Next 40 minutes. Ready? So, sir, this geopolitics, right? At times I feel that it is like a Netflix thriller series. So much twist, so much turn, so much unexpected alliance. Do you also feel, sir? So much twist turn recently what we seen, observed.
So I think you get a lot of time to see Netflix, I just don't. I cannot comment on that.
So I see, sir, why I'm saying all this, right? So I've seen recently, right? So our enemies, right? They're like Pakistan, right? He's getting into the Security Council member. He's also member of the anti-terrorist squad or country association. It is kind of so much twisted turn recently we observed. But coming to our core topic called geopolitics. Sir, what I observed in this Operation Sindoor, and I was going through a report published by DSCI. I saw that more than 1 million cyber probe happened during the Operation Sindoor. I know after investigation we found that they are more the state actors than the kind of any normal cyber criminal. So during Operation Sindoor, I think you managed the entire detection and the incident during that period. What should be the one single takeaways for CISOs or for company like NPCI should carry post your cyber Operation Sindoor and then cyber warfare kind of situation, sir?
So just to comment on that figure which you threw, 1 million or whatever, I don't know where that comes. I think that's highly bloated and incorrect. Having said that, but yes, there was coordinated, it's very clear that now you are into the hybrid game where you have cyber and kinetic. And there will be coordinated attempts. And we did see coordinated attacks in terms of the misinformation, disinformation, scanning, malicious scanning. There was website defacements. There was distributed denial of service attacks. There was phishing, and there was APT actors. Having said that, all these were thwarted. There was nothing which went through. There was no material damage to anything. There was no cascade impacts, etc. So how did that happen? It was years of preparations and capability building, as well as the whole of nation approach. Right from the Honorable Finance Minister, who I believe is taking a session at 11:30 today, was taking reviews and was giving directions and guidance to the various financial entities, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, etc. And I was there along with them, giving suggestions on the cyber side. There were things which were done by the Minister of Electronics and IT. There were reviews done by the Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and IT. So it was a whole of nation approach right from top to bottom, right? And there was real-time information sharing in terms of threats, etc., with the stakeholders. The within 6-hour reporting really helped, so that in case someone saw something suspicious, they reported to CERT, and we were able to immediately look at what's happening and also alert others. Obviously, we were looking at 24/7 monitoring, and any change in the baselines, we were able to alert the entities that kindly have a look at what this is, etc. So there was a lot of preparedness in terms of drills that we've been conducting. I think NPCI has been part of those drills which were done just before and during these operations. There was a lot of audits and patching which was carried out. There was also a lot of collaborative efforts in terms of different CERTs, the sectoral CERTs discussing with each other, like the power and the financial CERT, etc., as to what's happening, what's not happening, and what steps can be taken to safeguard things. And then there was obviously coordinated crisis management, which we were running. So the clear communication to look at what is safe, secure, etc. So primarily what I'm saying is that preparation, anticipating the threats, reviewing your mitigation plans, anticipatory resilience is what should be the takeaway. You have to look at not knee-jerk reactions, but keep building systematically and strengthening your defenses.
Indeed, sir. And thank you, CERT-In, for leading that exercise, guiding us. I think it was, as you rightly said, it was well-coordinated efforts to fight against the real cyber warfare. So far, we witnessed in the Netflix series or Hollywood movie, but probably first time we could see that, sir, how this hybrid warfare or cyber warfare is, fought on the ground. So we have seen the increased, threat perception and the real threat also, coming from enemy's country. Sir, we are going in another report, right? So in the Q1 and Q2, there has been increase of more than 30% on the DDoS side, sir. I think sitting here, I think most of the company have observed a low volume or at times medium or high volume DDoS attack. And sir, sitting at CERT-In DG, right? You also should be aware, all this reporting must be done with you, sir. So my question is this revenge mode kind of attack, right, coming from enemy's country. How digital payment ecosystem, especially now because I worked at NPCI, I will be more biased towards the digital payment ecosystem, sir. What should be your single advice, sir, that how we should be protecting such revenge mode kind of warfare coming from enemy's country? What are the kind of single takeaway, if I may ask, as a CISO or as a business head of digital payment ecosystem, sir?
As I say, you have to have continuous vigil on your networks, on your websites, on your portals, on your transactions. If you see any spikes or any dips, it should alert you. And once you are looking at these, you will also see that there are a lot of malicious transactions which are getting through along with your normal transactions because of randomization of headers, etc. So if you are vigilant, you will be able to catch them. If you do not catch them, obviously you're going to be in trouble. And there are multiple things that you can do in terms of defending and putting measures, whether multi-layer network security or anti-DDoS, since you mentioned DDoS, etc. 24/7 SOC monitoring, etc. But also remember that what is happening is now on the API front. So you have to put in a lot of API-specific security measures. Things like rate limiting, strong authentication, short-lived tokens, strict session controls, etc., which we see when we look at incidents, etc. These are not in place. Sorry to say, but this is what will create problems. So what you have to look at is if your network device health is degrading, your CPU utilization is high, or memory utilization is high, it should give you an alert. Or if there's a spike in your failure rates of transactions, or declining success rates, etc., then that should be a red flag for you. So I think, specifically to answer for your NPCI, that is what I would look at. And also, since you have so many of these APIs, etc., you need to start looking at.
Yes, sir. And thank you, CERT-In, right? So sharing all the threat intelligence, and it is indeed helpful for all ecosystem players, sir. So personally, I got benefited from your intelligence and all the the input what we share with the Indian ecosystem. Sir, moving back to from geopolitics to Indian digital payment ecosystem, right? So since it is in media, sir, so last year we observed that there was a ransomware attempt to one of the digital payment ecosystem players, right? This adaptive malware is really becoming threat, sir, and in this AI era, right? We also observing such kind of serious threat, and as part of our risk assessment, we have documented as well and trying to create a playbook around such threats. So this how we should be fighting against this adaptive malware like ransomware. What would be your advice, sir, and how CERT-In can help to the digital payment ecosystem player to create a kind of resilience around that, sir?
First of all, as you mentioned about our threat intel, we are giving almost in near real time the threat intelligence. And this is an automated mechanism through sticks and taxi, as you are aware. So if you are ingesting it, you should be in a position to make sure that you are reasonably safeguarded, because we are not giving you noise. We are giving you extremely specific curated intel, which is for either your organization or your sector or for the country. So it is away from all the noise. Second is, we've seen a lot of exploitation attempts of latest vulnerabilities, etc. And we see them, before they are also probably disclosed as 0 days. And why we see them is because of the various honeypots that we've deployed across the country in various sectors. So we get to know what the threat actors are up to and what are they trying to exploit. The moment we see those patterns, we again alert the specific organizations, because it will be probably in a particular sector, and if it is something generic, we would see a little larger footprint for that. And we also see what's happening from our situational awareness projects like the National Cyber Coordination Center that we run, as to what's happening and where the issues are starting and what is being impacted and affected. So, all these sort of things basically try and help and support the ecosystem. And what I would say is that your focus should be on looking at safeguarding yourselves from the TTPs rather than the IOCs. Yeah. People focus on IOCs, whereas you should be focusing on the TTPs to be making sure that you are safe and secure.
Yes, sir. So we shifted to focusing on the TTP rather than IOC. Of course, IOC is also one important and critical input for us to analyze. So moving on this, recently we observed that especially in the payments sector, right? So there is a very skill gap exists. So we do find a lot of cyber security professional, but payment security professional, I know there is some kind of a skill gap, and we tie up with IDRBT as well, sir, for getting trained from payment sector entities, and CISOs are being trained, and one down of CISOs and budding security professionals are also being invited to get trained. We are also trying to launch a certification, payment security certification, certified by NPCI. My question to you, sir, that how we can, bridge this huge skill gaps or what we exist. I think personally, I see that India can be the leader on the cybersecurity side, right? So somehow, there is still I can see some gap is there, sir. Any suggestion to bridge this skill gap based on your experience?
So, this bridging the skill gap or the new digital divide will be a moving goalpost because new technologies will keep coming in and you will again start having a skill gap. Okay, so for example, you mentioned how are we trying to see there are skill gaps at two different levels. One is at the citizen level at large, and the other is at the professional level. So at the citizen level, you should not even expect people to understand in detail or expect them to carry out things for a country like India, because we have such a diverse demography. People who are educated, people who are not educated, people who are in the urban areas, people who are in the rural areas. You have to start looking at all those aspects. Whereas in other countries, and you have multiple languages. So someone who knows a particular language may not understand anything else. So if you're saying I'm going to be sending awareness messages and all that, until and unless they know how to read, it's of no use, and if it is in their language. So, you have to think of innovative ways to do that. And that's why you have to use technology to a large extent, and that's where our Cyber Swachhta Kendra plays a reasonable role, where the citizens are not expected to know much. They are informed that your digital device is infected with bots or malware, and you can download free tools. And if you can download free tools, you can clean up your devices. And this is the largest project in the world. Today we cover 98% of the digital population of this country, and we are doing this free. Tell me one other country which does anything free for its citizens at this scale. And we don't intrude into privacy, etc. So this is a PPP model where the government, the industry players who are providing antivirus and other tools, then there is the ISPs, the academia, all of them together are doing this for the citizens. And also they get tips, etc. So that's one part where the technology plays for the citizen. Coming to your point on the professional side, on the professionals, if you've been closely following, we have started different programs. One of the first ones was with the National Institute of Securities Management, and that CERT-In started a 60-hour self-paced program in cybersecurity foundation for those who are wanting to be in the financial sector. So that is run there. The second one which we've done is with BITS Pilani. Okay, so where we are bringing the academic rigor, the academic examinations, etc., and the instructors are from the academia as well as from government and the private sector. So you get a good blend of academic side or theoretical side as well as what is actually in the practical side. So the people who have gone through that certification, it's a, I think, 8-week program. You do it from your own room, etc. And this is on weekends. So people who have gone through have been very excited. The first batch is over. And we were expecting about 30, 40 people would join. We had more than 100. Yeah. So it was a huge success. Apart from that, we have, as I said, new technologies will come, it will become a challenge. So we have started the CSPI, or the Certified Security Professionals in AI, okay, with CISA. And that is for people who are
I'll come to that, sir. That is interesting.
Okay,
discussion
and then
I have with you.
We have the ISEA program, which the Ministry of Electronics and IT runs, the Information Security Education and Awareness, where you have skills being imparted to people who want to be in the security field in different areas. So whether OT, whether audits, whether SOC, etc. Those who want, and then for those who want to aspire to be CISOs. So if you've gone through these sort of courses, is how we are trying to fill the gap and ensure that people can.
Yes, sir. I think skill gap will remain there, but it all depends on the individual and the citizen that how they are inclined to bridge those gaps, and of course how company pushes them and give the incentive. Going back to again, sir, geopolitical. So it was an interesting question coming to me, and I get a lot of queries from my fellow CISOs and also the digital payment ecosystem partner like application provider and TSP, that which are the country we should be blocking, sir? This is every time I get asked from my fellow CISOs. Any quick answer you have, sir? Maybe you can dodge this googly, but if you want to answer, because this is the question being asked that Pakistan everyone knows, sir. Okay, I blindly say okay, block the Pakistan geolocation. But any other country do you have in mind, sir?
No, I don't think blocking is a solution.
Okay.
Okay, because there are, see, for you maybe a particular country A or B can be blocked. But there are various other businesses which are running and they will not be able to block certain things. So you cannot disrupt businesses. So you see, security has to enable business, not stop business.
Yeah.
So if you are going to stop business in this fashion, it will be a challenge. And if everyone starts doing that, you are not going to be in a globalized world anyway. So slowly we will be totally deglobalized. So my suggestion is you have to take a risk-based approach. You look at what are the risks, you put in necessary controls. If you have to put in some additional controls, you put those in. And then monitor on a continuous basis. And that's how you should go forward.
Okay, but Pakistan can be blocked, sir, because majority don't have any business.
That I leave it to you.
Yeah. Sir, yeah. You want to add something?
No.
Yeah. So coming back to that, your pathway breaking circular or policy, sir, where you have mandated every Indian entities to get certain audit done every year. So what was in your mind? Can you give me some that why did you bring that? Then I'll talk about the various pros and cons. But what was in your mind to bring this circular in force, sir? What did you observe? What was kind of the
See,
factor?
I think very clearly there are two parts in this. One is audits for the organizations, and the second is audits for the MSME segment. The MSME segments had no idea what should be done. And obviously they can't follow all the necessary controls which a large organization or a medium organization is in a position to do. Okay, so whereas the large organization, etc., were looking at a compliance or a checklist based stuff. That okay, I have done an audit. Well, what is that audit done? Is it end-to-end? No. I have done an audit of a website. So my website is compliant. From an audit perspective, it is clear. So I'm okay. That's not an audit.
Yeah.
So you are running NPCI. If I just say I do an audit of the website of NPCI, is that good enough?
No.
So same way, the MSMEs were having a challenge because they don't have so many resources, and they can't do at that scale. And they can't spend so much of money, but they need some security because MSMEs are contributing to almost 45–50% of the business. And they are wanting to go global. They are already global, but they want to make sure that they are safe and secure for people to do business with them. So we came out with an audit detailed guideline for them, which is much shorter, only 15 controls, but it gives them the baseline with which they are reasonably safe and secure. They can always go into more details. But for the other ones, we were very clear that you have to do end-to-end. There has to be very clear roles, responsibilities defined for auditors, for the auditees, the common goals. The senior management was totally disconnected. So we made sure that the senior management gets connected. They have to be part of the initial as well as exit interviews, and also the work that has been done by the auditors, and also then the reviews and monitoring would be done by CERT-In. So that gives a holistic picture if you really want to look at audits in a serious manner. Otherwise, audits for the name of audits has no relevance. And because we've seen incidents which are happening, and if you look at the audit reports, there were glaring issues and there were glaring things which were missed out. They're not part of the scope. If that's not part of the scope, obviously you're going to be hit because no one's looking at those areas.
Sir, coming to your one remark, sir, checkbox audit, right, sir? My personal experience here, right? So one is that website can be the checkbox, right? But even in detail audit, what we observe, sir, it is kind of checkbox audit. So you can call any certain panel.
Yes.
What kind of?
So now everything is far more tighter and stringent, and the auditors will be blacklisted if they are trying to take shortcuts, and also the auditee would be reprimanded because we would be monitoring what is happening. So both sides need to be very clear, because now the senior management cannot say that we had no idea, because they are going to be part of the audit.
Yeah.
So they are going to be responsible.
Exactly, sir. I think auditor should be also conscious of that. They should cover entire audit in depth, sir. So I'm sure, sir, you'll bring those rigors on that, your impanel auditor as well. It is good for India. It is good for any sector, sir. No, my question was kind of that, sir. This every year, 10,000 or more than 10,000 certain audits are done, right? So do you also have the kind of risk profiling sector-wise, sir? Do you maintain such profiling post-audit? Because every audit is getting submitted to you. How do you manage? Like, sir, why I'm asking this question, right? We also have hundreds of ecosystem players who are connected with us, and we do audit on them, right? So what best we can learn from you, sir, that post-audit, what kind of profiling we can do so that we can get insight? Any view on this?
Our intent is very clear. We want to see what are the systemic issues which are being pointed out in a particular sector and across sectors. Of course, what is the risk profile of an organization? That obviously is there, but audit is not the only part for a risk profile. We also couple it with the drills and exercises that we do, the amount of threat intel that we give, and also the Cyber Swachhta Kendra, which gives you what sort of vulnerable services and bots, etc., that you have, and what actions are being taken. So a variety of combinations of all these gives the risk profile of an organization. But the audits tell us exactly what is being exploited in a particular sector, what is systemic issue which is not being addressed, and repeatedly it is coming out. And also, if something is common across sectors, what needs to be done. So it could be a particular, for example, it could be a particular technology which has been deployed, but there is no patching being done because of various reasons, maybe because of it's an OT area, and you have issues because the business might stop. So we need to understand, and because then that is what has to be going to be exploited. So what are the additional controls that are required? So that's where we start helping them. And that's how you also have to look at with your ecosystem partners. You will have to start looking at in more detail as to what they are doing. Do you have that visibility of the complete, if I can call it, business bill of material, or the transaction data flow that you have, visibility? Do you have that or not?
Indeed, sir. Sir, now I think you have brought many path-breaking initiative in the last 5 years or so. So what's in your mind for 2026, sir, and beyond 2026, so that we all should be prepared? That what surprises next coming, sir? Anything in your mind? What's new coming to us?
So, unfortunately, there is no crystal ball here. I can't look at it. No. See, continuous audits and assessments is one thing which will be a necessity in 2026. The second is we've, published the bill of material document, which has the software bill of material, the artificial intelligence bill of material, the uh, you know, hardware bill of material, the cryptography bill of material, as well as the quantum bill of material. So making an inventory of all this is also necessary in 2026. And beyond, as you said, you have to be ready for quantum. If you are not ready for quantum, whatever you are doing today, you will not be in existence. So let's be very clear, your existence is in question. And if you are not moving towards quantum and not migrating and planning how to do it, because this is not something which will be done overnight or which will happen in a couple of months. Okay, so it's not like the Y2K issue, which you could do in about 3 months, 4 months, 5 months also. But this will take longer time because you have no idea about the inventory. And as you said, if you have hundreds of ecosystem partners, you have absolutely no idea who's doing what. So doing an audit for them is one part, but how are they actually contributing to your work? You have no clue.
Thank you, sir. So probably I'll spare some time for our audience to ask question. From my side, sir, this would be the last question. Sir, again, based on my experience, right, so AI-enabled threat or quantum threat or operation technology threat, right, or biotechnology threat, these are the 4 threats what we could see, sir. What the government initiative or certain initiative to counter that? What are the advice for us to counter these 4 major threats, sir? I know that this is a very broad topic I'm asking, but should we be investing in the new technology, or should we be bridging the skill gaps, or should we buying the new technology to counter the AI-enabled threat or quantum threat? What could be the steps to be taken from today so that we can reach there next 2 to 3 years?
I'm surprised that you stopped at only these 4. There are many more.
Yeah, of course, there are many more.
Neurophishing, etc. You not mention any of those. But anyway, you see, let me talk from a CERT-In and CERT-Fin perspective, because we also run the financial CERT. We have published a variety of papers as well as advisories. We published an advisory on AI way back in 2023. People are using it now and also realizing what we gave in 2023 is what should be followed. We published a white paper also on smart cities, because that's again another place where a lot of payments, etc., will be involved. Okay, how do you secure smart cities? We've given an advisory on satellite communication. So if your other communication channels are down, you will have to use SATCOM. So how do you make sure it is safe and secure? We've given details also on UAS or drones, etc. Okay, you might want to use that for doing certain services, etc. We've given on how do you transition to quantum safe. So a whole roadmap has been given. So if you continue to look at what CERT is providing you and CERT-Fin is providing you, you will be in a position to make sure that your future stuffs which you mentioned are taken care of. Also, these similar scenarios are what we conduct our drills on. Those drills and exercises have these scenarios which are either currently breaking or about to break. Okay, so if you participate on those drills and exercises, you will get exposure as to how you need to be prepared or whether you are prepared or not. Because we look at different aspects in the drills and exercises. Do your people have the necessary skills to understand what's happening when an attack comes? Do you have the necessary processes? Have you made changes to the processes or not? And third, whether you have the right technology in place or not. Okay, so all 3 aspects. So you might have technology, as you're saying, I will buy technology and put it, fine. But you've not changed your processes. Okay, for AI, have you made changes? No. So you will not be able to figure out what that attack, when that attack happens, what you need to do. And have your people been trained on it? If they haven't been trained, they will not be able to detect. So just taking an example, recently there was some data breach. And since you are sitting here as NPCI, I'll say I'm taking NPCI is involved. The attacker says NPCI. This data belongs to NPCI. But you being from NPCI, NPCI says no, it is not my data. We have nothing to do with this entity. That entity happens to be your 8th or 9th or 10th supplier. And you have no clue that you are giving that data to that 9th or 10th supplier and they are doing certain processing. Responsibility of that data is with you, not with them. Because no one has given them the data. As a citizen, I'm going to catch you, saying you gave that data, so you are responsible if something has been breached. So what I'm saying is people have to understand, do you have the process for this? Do you have the understanding of what has been done? See, again, you got a person saying, yes, I'm a network engineer. If he knows only how to look at configuration of a firewall or putting a router, he's not a network engineer.
Agree, sir. So fundamental will remain evergreen always, sir. The people process technology. Just to update that, yes, we are investing in technology, sir, to counter this future threat as well. We are preparing ourselves. We are also changing our processes. So we are bringing all this risk management process to counter these threats, sir. Like we are moving toward the ISO 42001 or we are giving training to our resources on the artificial intelligence governance process or all those. And of course, the training, etc. is required. So I think, sir, do you have time? 2 minutes, right? So we have another 2 minutes. If anyone has any question.
That will take more than 2 minutes.
Hello.
I think one question and rest we can do outside.
Sir, this is not a question. First of all, let me congratulate you because CERT-In is not only investigating agencies, they are doing a tremendous amount of job at such a large nation like India. Sir, only one suggestion I have. During the Operation Sindoor, when Finance Minister and you and all senior officials from MITI and DFS, they had conducted a thorough review. I'll advise that that kind of such reviews, I understand that during Operation Sindoor it was an extraordinary time, but if that kind of review can be conducted by the ministers herself, at least for the BFSI segment on a particular frequency, that will add a lot of value to the system and it will give the right message to the overall ecosystem as well. That's all is my advice.
Thank you, but let me assure you that the Honorable FM does conduct regular reviews. It's not that one-off reviews. She is very much clued on to cyber security and regularly such reviews are conducted in different forums and different meetings. That I can assure you because I've been in them and she knows exactly the right questions and the right issues which are to be addressed. Thank you.
Sir, one more question. Last question probably. We have time.
Time is over, she says.
Is it over?
Yeah, it's over, but if we can just take only last one question.
Yeah, hi sir, thanks for your insightful points. I have two specific questions on artificial intelligence. So one, compared to last year to now, do you see a surge and the pace in which the attacks are coming in getting faster, and do you see the attacks increasing because of artificial intelligence? That's one. Secondly, you've introduced mandatory audits for MSMEs. So would you also introduce any advisories or audits for companies that are very AI or artificial intelligence dependent?
So I think from a AI perspective, about 3 or 4 different advisories have been given. Also, we partnered with ANSI of France and various other global partners and search, etc., to give a booklet on a risk-based approach to AI. Okay, I would urge you to go and read that. So those are the foundational stuff which is already in place. It's not that they are going to be changing. Okay, so if you are focusing on the foundations, you will be able to build up. To answer your thing, whether the number of incidents or threats, etc., are increasing, obviously the malicious actors are the first ones who start using technology. And if you see the phishing attacks, they are very much being used with AI. So earlier you could make out that this is a phishing email. Those who were reasonably attentive and had some idea that this is how phishing happens. But today even they are being fooled because the AI is making it so perfect that you cannot figure out whether this is a phishing email or not. So yes, it is increasing and it will continue to increase with new technologies coming in.
Thank you. Sir will be around outside after this session. You may catch him and ask more questions. So with this, thank you, sir, for all your candid and very transparently answered. So let him give a round of applause, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for an engaging conversation. It's, I'm sure, helpful for each and everyone over here. And let's take a picture before we move ahead.